Hello, everyone, and welcome on into the latest edition of TECspertz, the hottest ECU sports podcast here today. And we are here yet again for another ECU loss. Competed well with UTSA to begin with, but then quickly fell apart. So we'll talk about that today. We'll also talk about some more basketball things as well today. But first, TECspertz is a collaboration between the East Carolinian and WZMB 91.3. And we want to thank the Big Vape Theory for sponsoring today's podcast. All right, guys, so as I just said, we started off, competitive with UTSA, and then, we quickly fell off 1-7 on the season, and we got a tough one this week. Tulane coming into town, 7-1, I believe 24 in the latest ranking. So, guys, what are our opening thoughts today?
Well, I'll start off. I think it was weird watching that game because it seemed like everything flipped on us. From everything we've been used to all season long, it seemed like it flipped on us. Alex Flynn had over 200 yards passing, which we have not had that all season long, I don't think, except for maybe Gardner Webb. Maybe, I don't know. But 200 yards passing for Alex Flynn. Haven't seen that in a while. And then defensively, we did not look that great at all. I think this is the first time where I think we can all just sit here and be like, defensively, we did not step up the way we normally do. So I think things just flipped on us, which is very weird. It didn't seem like I was watching ECU football, to be honest with you. When I was watching that team, I didn't know what team I was watching, but it didn't look like an ECU football team. Now, the result looked like an ECU football result. I mean, we lost, but it looked like I was watching ECU football. So it was just a weird game.
Yeah, it went just about the way I would expect against UTSA. Like, they've been very good. They stumbled early this year, but now they've won, I think, 4 straight after a 1-3 start. They were 12-1, 11-2 the last 2 years. They've been really good. So just about what I expected. Our defense was overpowered. And, they're all seniors on that UTSA squad. So, just a lot of youth on our side. So, yeah, not a big surprise, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of things that usually have been plaguing us this year has been big plays. They had a bunch of those last year. Frank Harris was just having his way with us. He had 4 touchdowns, man. Dude was just locked in. And it was nice to see at least Flynn getting, more passing yards than he has in the last couple games, find a way to get our offense to scoring points. We had a first quarter lead, I think it was the first of the year, if not very few. So there are positives to take from the game there, but defense is the same as before, just giving up big plays, killing us in the second half, and can't get back into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, Nick. It wasn't a very typical ECU game. The defense, did not look great. UTSA obviously is a better team than some of the other teams we faced, but still, the defense did not play well, and the offense looked, relatively better. We still had some miscues there in the red zone, and we still struggle offensively. But I think the real win is and hear me out, gentlemen, when I say this, is the fact that we're not UTSA. I mean that in the sense that I turned on the game and I saw what UTSA was wearing. I nearly threw up. They look awful. Those uniforms, I might be the only one who feels that way, but I hated those uniforms. I was like, what on earth are they wearing? I don't know if that's their normal style, but that's just me. I hated the uniform.
The Roadrunners. How are you going to hate on UTSA?
The Roadrunners.
Me, dude. Come on.
I respect the Roadrunners. I like the mascot, but the uniforms, could not stand them.
Right.
Could not
There's
stand
a
them.
lot worse out there. When Oregon just puts out their 130 pieces of garbage.
Oregon,
Oregon always has.
Enough. We get it, Phil Knight. We get it.
Right. You either love or hate Oregon's uniforms, but they're unique.
Yeah.
You
still
that's
love
for sure.
Oregon's uniforms. Are you 7, 8? Did you get your parents' permission to watch this? Jesus Christ. Who cares? It's a jersey.
It is a jersey. And so we will have Tulane this week. Very good team. 1 loss on the year. It was only to Ole Miss. Ole Miss number 10 in the country. So it's going to be a tough one. It's definitely for sure Tulane number 1 in the conference. We're dead last in the conference. Right. So kind of the, David versus Goliath here. But, we all know how that story goes sometimes. So it might be the time that we step up here. But I really don't see it that way. I think it'll be a similar fashion of how we've seen. I think it'll be probably 35-10, just off the top of my head. Tulane. Not.
Yeah, I wish.
I didn't think I need to specify, but
yeah, no. I think we all understood where you're coming from. I think it's gonna be something similar. I don't see much out of ECU this game. Tulane is just fantastic this year. We obviously are not. We are very abysmal in every single category, it looks like. So I think it's something very similar. I'm going to say right around 31-7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just the same thing every week. I mean, I think it's a 17-point spread. We're at home. I mean, we average, 40,000 fans. Like, we have a chance to at least cover the spread. And I think if we can be within that 17 and play complimentary football, we could potentially win the game. But that's all hypotheticals and what ifs. It's not going to happen. There's seems to be no answers for how to fix anything. So I guess it's just punt away the season and make changes in the offseason.
Yeah.
Or you could make changes middle of the year and give at least fans some hope and optimism. We've seen that
We'd
this
like to
week.
see it, you know.
We've seen that this week in some places. That was very fun and nice.
Might be on your hoodie, you know.
I don't know, but I mean, good God, I mean, they say change for the sake of change. Like, it's not worth it, but like, at least change to make people feel better.
Yeah.
At least get some. I mean, you're going to do it at the end of the season. At least have something to talk about. Besides
Right.
dead last in the conference, we suck.
That'd
We
be
suck.
nice. That'd be nice. Something else to talk about. That'd be very nice.
Right horizons, man.
I want to be on the right side of history, hopefully, man. ECU 31, Tulane 28, man. And I know it's bold, obviously. It probably won't, but
Wow.
listen. The reason why I feel this way, though, is if we can take the momentum from passing from the last game we had, Tulane is exploitable in the pass game because they've had close games against North Texas, which has a better offense than we do. I understand that. And also Memphis as well, where they've had close games up to, like, the end of the fourth quarter, and they had to, like, win. I think North Texas, they won in, like, the last couple seconds of the game. At home, nothing to lose. Throw everything out there, man. Leave everything out there. Because I'm not gonna lie, I really want a chance to storm the field, though. It'd be nice, be number 24 ranked Tulane for sure.
Oh my God.
Man, we'll have 2 wins storming the field.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
take
be
it.
asleep in my recliner. I mean, good God, dude. If it's 14-14 at halftime, what are you talking about? We're 1-7. Who can, and like the momentum from last, what was it, 41-27? Was that the first one? On a garbage time touchdown as time expired. There's no momentum from last week. They're bottom, 30 defensive pass game. They're bottom 30. They're just terrible. There's no momentum. We just had a good outing against a very bad defense.
True.
I feel like, I could be wrong. I don't know. But you did say we were going to win, so.
I need it.
I
I respect the optimism.
Yeah,
I
I respect the bold prediction. I do.
I don't agree with it, but I respect it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, no one would be happier than me if
Oh,
that
yeah.
does happen, but I don't think.
I would love to come in here next week and report a win. That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I don't see it happening, but I'd love to come in here
Oh,
and
yeah.
talk about a win.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. If we come in here with a little pep in our step, you'll know why. Because
yeah.
ECU beat Tulane. Probably won't happen, but we'll see. So let's transition to some basketball. We got basketball starting next week, both men and women. A lot of expectations coming into this year. And I think realistically, when I look at both these men's and women's teams, realistically what I want to see is A, improvement, and B, competitiveness. I mean, the women won the AAC last year. They were, I think, the 4 seed coming into the tournament. I might be wrong about what seed they were.
I do believe.
The 4 seed. But so I want to see a better regular season from them. They got hot really well at the end of the season, but I want to see a little more consistency through the end of the year. And for the men, I want to see, a winning record. And I want to see, them compete with some of these other better teams. There's some good teams in this American Conference this year, so I want to see them, even if they lose, I want to see them fight in this game and kind of be competitive throughout the season.
Yeah.
Guys, what are y'all's realistic expectations for these two teams?
Oh, you go first if you want.
I mean, I think realistic expectations here. I mean, I think you said it very well right there. I think as far as women goes, like I said, we won the American last year. Improvements what we want, but we improved the non-conference schedule in order to make that happen. So I think there's realistic expectations of us improving just our chances in the tournament too. Because we had a brutal loss to Texas in the tournament last year. It was brutal. It was like I think they doubled our score. Like it was
inexperience.
yeah.
4-13 matchup.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna say like it was like a bad, but it was a brutal loss. It was one that you sit there and like,
bad, but it's brutal.
yeah, it wasn't close. So like, I mean, I would like to see us compete better in the tournament, and so I think we're making the right steps in order to do that. As far as women goes, as far as men goes, like you said, we went 500 last year. Improvements is just all we really need. I like what Mike Schwartz is doing I like the way he's coaching. I like how he's brought guys in. I like what he's done there. I think we have a good chance at improving this season.
Yeah, I mean, women's, I'm not really too into either side of the basketball, but I'm familiar. I think women's is just going to improve because, like I said, inexperience last year, so a lot of more maturity on the team, recruits and transfers coming in. I think they're only going to get better. And for the men, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say a tournament bid. I don't think that's too far-fetched. We're going to have a really good team this year, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I feel the same way about you guys as well. Trying to see for the men's, trying to at least make the March Madness this year would definitely be huge. Definitely the right step in the right direction. If not that, at least finish mid-table in the AAC. Try to build off the momentum we had last year. We have a lot more players coming in this year and become getting better as towards the years goes on. So that's the expectation. Nobody's expecting them to go out there and burn the world. You know what I mean? Nobody's expecting that.
Oh, it's coming, buddy. I feel like I'm very high on this basketball team and everybody else is not. I think they're going far.
I called it here first. ECU to win it all.
Right.
I see that far.
Isn't that what you said last week?
What? Yeah, in a joke. I say all my teams are going to win.
Oh, I know.
Raiders win a Super Bowl, 3-5. Antonio Pierce.
So you have no faith in us.
I have faith in our football team.
We got
1-7. We're at a bowl eligibility. What can I say? 5-7. Here we go. Who cares?
Yeah, man.
I think it's possible.
And it's just I
don't think it is.
No, I don't care. I'm lying.
Y'all good. And for the girls team, I want to see at least if we could find a way to repeat as champions. Doing it without the expectations that we didn't have last year. They're going to be there now. Hopefully we get a higher seeding in terms of getting to the tournament this year, especially with the tournament going through Texas, like Nick said, dealing with that loss, and then going forward. We have talent on that women's team, man.
Yeah.
And you can do a little bit of noise, if you get around a 5 to 6 seed inside of the women's tournament side of the bracket, because the top teams like UConn, Iowa type, those are going to be number 1 seeds, number 2 seeds. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can avoid them. At least getting to the second round would be something I would like to see this year.
Yeah. Now, see, the women's tournament is very difficult to compete in, especially if you're a lower seed.
Yes.
Because the first 2 rounds are at the higher seed. So we had to go at Texas. Very tough to play. And the men's, it's all on neutral site there. So it's always tougher, in the women's tournament. But, I think, last year was great experience for this team. And Danae McNeil and both Maya Joyner, both are expected to have great seasons this year. So I think they can do very well in the American, and they have a very competitive off-conference schedule. Seton Hall, Ohio State, South Carolina, all on this schedule. They got some good teams on the schedule. So I think they're going to be prepared. They're going to be ready to go. I think they're going to make it in the tournament. At least win a game. Maybe not go all the way. I'm not going to say that far, but I think they can win a game. I think they can get to the second
all the way,
round.
baby.
All the way.
All the way.
All the way.
Bright
All the way.
Bright
You heard it
horizons.
here first. Pirates all the way.
Pirates all the way. Pirates
Place
all
your
the way.
bets now. You'll make millions. You'll make millions.
In a legal state.
Right, legal state,
Yes,
legal
yes.
state, of course. We promote legal betting,
Yes.
not illegal betting,
Absolutely.
of course. So guys, before we wrap up, just one last question for you guys. Let's say that both basketball seasons pan out, how we're not expecting. They both don't do that well. Whatever, injuries, not playing as well, whatever the case may be. Would that be a raise for concern for you, or is that kind of we're still a good team, we maybe just didn't have a great season? What are our thoughts if we have a bad season this year?
Same old Pirates. Let's go on.
Same old Pirates.
Going to baseball. Now, I have faith. Now, baseball, I do have faith in us.
Going to baseball. Same old Pirates. Let's go to the house. Who cares? That's really.
I
fair.
think
That's fair.
Hold on. Are you really going to fire these? You just gave Kim McNeil an extension.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mike Schwartz this is going to be his second year. So I don't really think you can fire anybody. And maybe just a bump in the road. I don't know.
I think it's circumstantial. I think if it's injuries, I'll excuse it. But if it's we just did not live up to expectations, and everybody kind of stayed healthy, we just didn't live up to expectations. I think that'll be a lot more disappointing. I don't know if we'd fire anybody for. I think it would just be I think we'd consider it an off season, but I would want to know where we went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Was it were we not getting rebounds? Were we not putting enough baskets? What went wrong?
Right.
I feel in terms of men's and women's, having the expectations that we have, trying to find a way in balance. I think it's a little unfair to put when we say disappointing for the men's team. We finished 500 last year. Anything below that obviously would be the massive disappointment we're looking like because we want to take that step forward. I would feel a little bit deflated towards them if they can't at least get to 500. For the women's team, we have a little bit higher expectations as we talked about, but if we can't get at least maybe competitive play out of those games that you mentioned earlier in terms of South Carolina, Seton Hall, Ohio State, I would be a little bit disappointed towards that, not necessarily the season on hand, but trying to face teams that we know are going to be in the tournament, that I know are going to be really well. You just want to see them take that next step from where they were last year.
So if a top 5 South Carolina comes in here and just whoops the hell out of us, that'd be a disappointment.
No, I mean, South Carolina.
I'm not saying anybody be happy about it, but like, I mean, if we get blown out by the best teams, I mean.
I think that's more excusable.
Right, yeah. South Carolina's a little bit more suitable. I want to see. I think we can beat Seton Hall. I think we could.
I don't know the program. I mean, it is what it's
I think we can beat Seton Hall too. Ohio State and South Carolina are kind of the two juggernauts
Yeah.
on that schedule for sure. But no, I mean, I think you're right. I think, if we can look competitive in these games, even a losing record is still justifiable. And I think you two are right as well, that even with a losing season, I don't think either coach should be fired. I think both coaches have done a great job trying to get these programs back to where they should be. And even if it is a fluke, I still think that these coaches have done a great job. And I think that moving forward, I think they don't need to worry about their jobs. But hopefully we won't have to talk about that. Hopefully we'll have some winning seasons. So next week, the basketball teams kick off their season. Next week, ECU takes on, this week, that's this Saturday, ECU takes on Tulane. And most importantly, next week, you have another TECspertz episode. We'll see you then. Take care.